This year, I had this really optimistic vision of me meeting like my father's side of the family and being embraced with open arms and all this rada hada huda hada. But I was like, because both sides of my family can be psychopaths. Like, I know I know there people separating all this fun loving things, but I'm just like, I know somebody out there gives a fuck about me and like wants to see me make it, and they're related to me. Like, they are blood to me. Um, I have yet to meet that person, but I also I'm not closed minded because the fact that I didn't have a father growing up, it allowed me space to like openly and allow people into my life. I know it wasn't always, it's also a part of me like being vulnerable or whatever, but people came in and they did stupid shit with the wrong energies. So that's not my fault that I allowed them space to be themselves, and they showed me who self was, not who I was thought I was seeing. They showed me who their self was. So all I can do is, be forgiving, be open minded. But I never really like went into details with my family about who my daddy is, because like I know it a few times. I always used to ear hustle. So like things like I would hear that, like one time I heard that my dad was apparently abusive and this, that, and the 10. I heard that before. And then like my mama would be like, I don't know where you get that attitude from. You must get it from your daddy. And I'm just like, if my daddy is have an attitude like this, then I don't want to meet such a mean person. Like, I knew that I wasn't shit. Like, I knew I was angry. Like, I knew that I didn't want to meet anybody as angry as I felt like I was when I was entertaining the anger in my life. So I'm just like, okay, well, if he was abusive and he was such an angry person and nobody in my family likes or respects him, I guess I shouldn't like ask about him. I shouldn't like open those wounds for anybody to tell me they had a bad experience with him, or to like manipulate a conversation about who or what type of person he was. So I was just like, okay, I'll figure this shit out on my lonesome. I'll eventually have like the information I need. Like, I knew his name, his first and last name. So I remember at one point I did try to like search him on social media, and I found a junior. I also knew that he had more kids. So I'm like, okay, well, let me reach out to this guy. So I reached out to this guy and I asked him, I was like, do you have a relationship with your father? Because I heard that my father has, a junior, and I just wanted to see if we were related or not. But homeboy never got back to me. So, and I can respect that. Like, no, you don't have to talk to me. You don't know me. Like, you don't have to. I never felt like I wanted to force anybody into anything or any kind of relationship with me. So, I just, I was just like, I'll eventually, have these moments. Like, if he's alive, then maybe, I'll know him, meet him, this, that, and the 10. I only have one memory from like that that side of the family, and I don't even know if it was that side of the family. I just hold on to that memory, and I say that it was like that side of the family. But I don't the little place that we had went to visit, the little house that we had visit, it was black, so I didn't really see the. It was like if you're in a house and they're using the outside as the light for the inside of their house, so it's not as dark, but it's not as light as it could be. But in that house, they had a picture of me with Blue's Clues, and I was maybe like, I think it was like my second or my third. I remember it was like two or three that was on that photo, the number two or the number three that was on that photo. And I just, that's just something I remember. Like that little girl sitting there on that picture. And then I also remember like walking out of the house and like just going about the rest of my life. Like I was just walking away from the house, and that's all I remember. So I don't have any clear, open memories about those people or who I considered my other side of the family. But I'm I don't know. I'm just like I'm very optimistic that there is people out there that actually loves me and support me and rooting for me to find them or them to be able to find me. But I'm not ignorant about it. I'm not ignorant about it. I'm not like I'm just gonna let anybody into my shit because I want a family. I'm like I allow these connections that I feel to play out, whether they're a lesson or a blessing. That's for me to experience and find out. And yeah, it is what it is. So I just really have to accept the fact that my journey is not everybody else's journey. And a part of me be so excited about the suspense and learning new things and gaining all this knowledge about myself. But I knew because I didn't have anyone to like actually talk to that I could trust because I've watched my people like tell everybody else one thing and then they'll whisper other shit to the next person. So like I never really wanted to trust their information. I never wanted to allow myself to be vulnerable that I was trying to open up those can of worms because I didn't want, everybody to be like, don't tell her this, don't tell her that, or they laughing in my face about things I don't know about. And I just never wanted to put myself in a position to be um, the front of the punchline of their jokes. So I just always like tried to do my own thing with the limited resources or abilities that I did have. So yeah, I just I don't. It'll all work out. Mm, It'll all work out. Yeah. But I do hold on to hope that I'll be adopted into somebody's beautiful, loving family. And they're going to be like, oh, well, you are my sister now. You may not be my blood sister, but you are my soul sister, and I love you. So, I love you too, sis. I love you too. And I want to mean that. Like, I don't want to jump into nothing new or nothing old, nothing forgiven, and it be simply off of a motherfucker feeling like they finessing me, because then I'm going to have to be the villain, and I have no problem with being the villain, because I am a hero, I am a villain, I am the light, I am the dark, I am the stars, the sun, and the moon. I am highly intuned. I am also the debris, the comets, the asteroids, the darkness wind. I am the silence. I am the loud screams for help. I am the loud screams of celebration. So I am just, it is what it is. I just really thought that this year I would be like, I would find out something. I know I didn't apply myself like I was actually seeking that knowledge, but I'm not going to be stuck on past situations. If it was something that is brought to the forefront, then I'm going to entertain it or sit with those emotions. But not knowing my daddy has always been like something that bothered me, but I had to be bothered in silence because I don't show people weakness. I don't try to act concerned around people because either they don't care or that's exactly what they want. So I try not to give people exactly what they want. I am very stubborn about about my strength. Like, I know there's strength behind tears, but like, no, everybody not looking for the strength behind tears. As soon as you cry, they gonna claim that it was you weeping from weakness, you weeping from defeat, and then they throw this narrative, then they continue to spread it, and then me being the single soul that I am, I understand that, like, it is a dub. It was a dubs in people's life to see me fall, like to see me begging and seeing me hurt, like motherfuckers like real life was like, yeah, let's get one up on her. Ain't nobody gonna protect her. Ain't nobody out here that she can really depend on. And y'all cool. Y'all are cool because it is somebody out there. It is beings and people out there that's praying and empowering my journey and sending me love and support through the ethers. Like, there is more. So I seek more. Therefore I am receiving more. So I am more. I am better than I was yesterday as I push to be better than I am today. So it is what it is. But that's just something I was thinking about. Like, I've always had this determination to find my father. And I guess you can say that was also probably why I was in such these weird ass relationships with these men, because they were also fatherless, but I felt like they had something that I would have wanted to see within my father, or I felt like they could provide that protection I felt that fathers should, provide their children, which would allow, me to be free to express myself in all environments. That's why, like, when I used to go out, I know I used to go out like by myself and enjoy myself, but the fact that I knew I had a man, or I knew I had me a little boyfriend, it just gave me more confidence for some odd reason that I was protected. Like that motherfucker was gonna get out in the middle of the night and come whoop somebody for me if I need him to. I never expected any of this, but because I physically had a man right there, I felt like I was, I had that protection, that I felt like they wasn't gonna allow anything to happen to me. So, and I didn't take advantage of them. I just enjoyed that feeling, that protection, that how can I say this? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I guess because, like, in people's mind, they feel that if you don't have a man by you, or if you're not by a strong masculine energy, then the other men feel like they could play with you. But I always like had that confidence that just because my man is not here don't mean he is not near. So, like, I guess that was just me being like in my masculine and my feminine at once, and holding like that alpha presence, but still being ladylike about it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, they say when you find your man, you're looking for. Some women are looking for a father that wasn't there. Mine literally wasn't there, so I didn't have a picture of him. Didn't have. All I had was that he had a bad attitude and he possibly was abusive. That's all. And also, like, I stayed down the street from where him and my mom stayed when she was apparently pregnant with me. So it's just like, and those apartments too, I've had trauma in when I was in the younger grades that I didn't never tell anybody about. So it's just like I'm in this haunted as weird as ghost. I'm on this ghost street. Like it exists, but spiritually is nothing but dead weight. Like that's exactly what this is. This like my little piece of earth is dead weight. Like, and yeah, Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? But it's just like, if you don't ask questions, I guess you don't really get the answers. But it's, who do you ask? Who can you really talk to when you know and you see and you have entertained how ignorant, selfish, and simple-minded that the people you are told to rely on can be. And you're just like, oh, I would never want to be put in that position for them to play with me like that. So you keep your distance, or you keep your vulnerabilities from them. And then they go off and create other flaws of your being, and then spread those, and then you realize you have no protection when you speak out loud in certain spots. So, and I can't say I don't have any protection, because the divine is my protection. Like, God, Him and herself is my protection. I have nothing to fear, like anything. Like, I just don't like when people try to lie in my face. So I just always kept my curiosity to myself, because what they say, curiosity killed the cat, and death is not an option for me. Like, I'm growing so I could live, and it felt like I started growing. And at some point I started forgetting how to breathe. But I'm just like, that's not my growth. That's somebody else's descent. Because I know what I know, or at least I have a grand confidence in what is not. And I know for a fact I ain't crazy. I ain't insane. I know for a fact I'm not an angry black woman. And I never wanted to be those stereotypes. And people act like poking a bear isn't a phrase that exists. They act like a woman can't be the bear. Like, they act as if the woman can't be the bear. But you poking at the bear. You antagonizing that bear's peace. That bear's hunt for its next adventure. And that bear is not supposed to defend itself. Yes, you see, I'm sitting here by myself. I have two options. Let you take over, take over my show, or I do what I need to do and create a whole station. Like, you don't even have to be on my channel. Like, I don't be begging people. I don't be begging folk to kiss my ass. I just don't like. I don't like being in this temporary confusion. I don't know.